Alright, we should be live. I believe so. So, today we will be Shiny Hunting Mew again in Pokemon Emerald. This will be our third stream of the series. We're at 405 encounters, and we're pretty much going to plan to at least double that today. And hopefully we get Shiny Mew in the first 1,000. Unlikely, but that would be pretty awesome. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Thought I messed that one up for a second. Yeah, I messed that one up. That's unfortunate. Not too bad, though. There we go. Yo, what's going on, Freehan? Still going at it, eh? Is 441 just today or including yesterday? It's the total right now, so it's pretty much including all three. I've been doing about like 200 per stream. They just haven't been very long streams because my hip has been hurting, so I can't really sit too long in one spot. How you doing, man? Alright, just thought I'd take a peek at the hunt while I'm working. Nice. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hope work is going well for you. 444. Any prediction on what number you think I'm going to get it on? I've had a couple people say like 3,000 something. Colin yesterday said it was going to be like 1,800, so I'm curious. What do you think it'll be? $640? Oh my gosh, I hope so. You're the first person that said under 1,000. That would be amazing. Oh, Freyan, were you planning on going to SmashCon this year? I know last year I did not get to go, but I was actually just talking about it yesterday when Colin was chatting on the stream, and I was saying that this year it would be nice to try and go, and if you are planning on going, that will definitely probably sway my decision to a yes. So, I thought I would ask. If there's any big tourney that I'm going to go to, it's probably going to be that one for sure. Okay, cool. I figure with it being like under 2 hours away, it's really more so just the cost of like a hotel, which, I mean, you can kind of find a pretty decent deal on if you look in advance. And I think Danny actually gets points from like her work, so we might be able to find something if we look a little bit in advance. So it's kind of just gonna matter. It kind of depend on like how I'm doing, like recovery-wise after the surgery. As I forget the exact date for SmashCon right this second, so I would like to plan to go. That would be fun. Yeah, so for the Shiny Mew hunt, when you leave this area and then go back in, it resets it. So you don't actually have to soft reset specifically for Mew. There is, like, another hunt that's a good example is Deoxys. 450, by the way. Deoxys, when you do that, you actually have to reset to do that one. This one is a little bit more friendly because you just have to walk in and out. Because, like, even if I were to, like, damage this Mew with, like, false swipe and then leave the room and come back in, it regenerates its health, so it, like, counts as a new Mew. So it's kind of cool. It's a little bit easier to hunt that way. Just have to really not mess up the puzzle every time, and you'll get it pretty quick. Deoxys is probably going to be, like, one of the other ones that I'm working on after this. And I'm not really looking forward to doing that one because the reset adds more time to it. It's going to be a little bit more manual than just walking in and out of a room, but it'll still be a cool shiny to get. And I've been ranting about the Manaphy shiny hunting because that one is one of the most obnoxious ones there is. That and Jirachi as well. Because you literally have to get the Pokemon from a different game and trade it, and it's such a hassle. So, those ones are going to be draining. Right, 454. I realized that one of the things that I mentioned in the stream yesterday that I wanted to do was to get dive balls before this episode and possibly get a Gardevoir with Sync, but it's only 50% in this generation. And I completely forgot to do that, but I think I might do that before the next stream, so we'll see. SmashCon is August 8th through 11th, by the way. Okay, cool. If my surgery gets expedited to be sooner than later, that should work out, I think. Right this second, the tentative date for the surgery is August 9th, which is like literally in the middle of that date, so that would probably not be ideal. But the surgeon wants to do it sooner because August is like really far away, and I've already been like having this injury for like 2 months now, so he doesn't want to wait that long. So I'm thinking we'll probably be having it before then, but we'll just have to see how I'm doing recovery-wise. Oh, Ian, I had a question. I assume you've probably been to Taco Bell recently and tried some of their stuff. When I was there last time, I tried the aardvark fries, and I couldn't remember if that's something that they had had in the past and brought back, or if that was like a new thing. And I was going to ask you if you tried it, if you liked it, and also if it was a new thing or an older thing, if you remembered. Oh, I messed this one up. I did like them. Sauce was pretty good. Yeah, it was. I really just couldn't remember if it was something that had been out before. I thought it was new, but I liked it. I thought it was good. There you are. They were a new collab, but obviously the fries have been a thing. Oh yeah, obviously, definitely. The fries are so good. Absolutely amazing. I liked the new, like, crispy chicken cantina items as well. I thought they were good. I've been enjoying the grilled chicken, or the slow-cooked chicken, I think is what it says in the menu. I thought it was cool. $4.60. Yeah, I forget the name of the thing right this second. It was really good. They had it briefly. It was the it was basically like the same. It was like the empanada, kind of like half circle shape, and it was like the chicken and cheese inside. And apparently, like from what I understand, like the actual like crust of it is kind of like what their apple pie crust used to be like. I don't think I ever tried one of those because I was very young when those were out. Yeah, that thing was amazing. It was funny that it was like one of the only items I think I've ever seen Taco Bell actually have like a sodium warning for. I kind of got a kick out of that. Because like, I remember there was like one time I was like door dashing it instead of going to get it. And it was just like, oh, sodium warning. And I'm like, huh? That's a thing? At Taco Bell? But yeah, that thing was great. Oh my goodness. So, it's the other day on Sunday for Mother's Day, we went out and had dinner with Danny's dad and mom and sister, and we all went to go do hibachi. And it was fairly busy because, again, Mother's Day is typically busy. And we ended up waiting, I want to say like an hour before we got hibachi. But then we got in there, we got to sit down. This is my second time at this place. It's like one of their go-to places. And the guy who did like the cooking and stuff was super cool. I don't think he was quite as fun as the first guy the last time we went, but it was still really fun to watch and stuff. And we got, I think it was like filet mignon and like shrimp. It was like a half and a half thing with like noodles and like rice and stuff. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, if you ever like come up here to Pennsylvania, we gotta go there. I think you'd really like it. It's good stuff. The place is called Shogun. It's basically just like hibachi. They do have like the option where you can just like get regular food off the menu like at normal tables, but it's typically known for its hibachi. So I think that's like the main thing that people go there for. But the sushi and stuff like they have just in general is really good. Like we got like I think 7 different rolls and stuff like on this big plate, and it was just like a smorgasbord. It was really good. Alright, $4.64. Oh, I messed this one up. Yeah. There you are. I thought he was gonna move. He actually stayed right there in that one patch of grass. Gotta love that. I feel like compared to the first stream, I've definitely got the padding down. Like, the first stream, I was not aware that he had, like, a specific pattern that he did. And, like, I wasn't aware that, like, I think it's, like, every 9th step he holds still or something like that. So, as long as you don't mess up the pattern, you can pretty consistently just get Mew. But every once in a while, I keep messing it up, and I'm just like, oh, God. Now I have to actually run around and chase you. Oh, Ian, did you hear about the very odd announcement for the Switch 2? I thought it was really funny. Like, some content creator on YouTube, I forget which one it was, they mentioned that, like, they have 2 giant Twitter accounts that Nintendo usually uses, and they use this third one that has, like, only 80-something thousand followers rather than their 2 main ones, to just casually be like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, there's gonna be a Switch 2, okay, bye. I just thought it was really funny that that's how they went about doing it. But I didn't know if you had, like, heard it or anything. It wasn't really even much content really in that tweet anyways, but just kind of funny that's how they talked about it. Yep, where were they just saying, hey, there isn't going to be any talk of the new Switch at this next event? Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? My whole thing has been, I will usually, but there is going to be one. Yeah, exactly. Very vague. My whole thing when it comes to Nintendo systems is like, I've always pretty much been exclusively a Nintendo person. And usually the reason for getting the next Nintendo console has always been either Smash and or Pokemon. That's literally been the reasons why I always upgrade. And my thing is, like, as long as the next Pokemon game that comes out is still going to be on the Switch, I don't really have a reason to upgrade, you know? Unless there's, like, something crazy about this new one that's going to be, like, very convincing. It's like, nope, this is simply better. Which I just don't see being the case. So I guess we'll have to see. Like, if they announced that they were going to come out with, like, a virtual console for, like, all the Pokemon games or something. Like, oh yeah, we're releasing every single Pokemon game on our virtual console for the new Switch. Like, that right there would be like, alright, well, you got me. Because now you can play all the old Pokemon games and then be able to transfer stuff from home without having to, like, you know, go through crazy transfers from different consoles to consoles and different services to services. Which is very appealing. But other than that, I don't know. I'm just not sure what they're going to have to offer that makes it, like, worth it. Be kind of cool if they came out with, like, transparent, like, shells or something. Although there's literally so many, like, market like aftermarket products that make like customized kits that you can just make your own shells for and stuff. So it's like, it's not a huge selling point there either, but at least it would be kind of like, ooh, it's special. It looks cool. Hey, Ian, actually, I just thought of something. I know that you have, like, quite the extensive collection of games and stuff. I don't know if I ever asked you this, which is crazy to think about. I must have asked you at some point. But do you still have, like, a collection of, like, Pokemon games and stuff from, like, when you were a kid? Or, like, did you ever, like, acquire any Pokemon games, like, later on in life? I don't think I've ever asked you, like, if so and what you have, because I'm curious. 475. Oh my goodness, I keep messing that up. There we go. Yep, I have at least 1 to 2 cartridges from each generation up to Sun and Moon. Nice! And downloaded Sun and Moon. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm still definitely trying to collect. I recently had gone through to kind of see what ones I was still missing. I think as of today, I am missing... Sun and Moon kind of ruined Pokemon for me. You know, honestly, it's kind of did in a sense too. Like, I remember being excited about it coming out, and I remember really liking the Pokemon that came out. It's just the actual, like, mechanics of the game and like the fact that it handheld you so much and continued that trend was just something that kind of was frustrating. So I feel you on that. Some of the Pokemon in Gen 7 were really cool, and I feel like the Pokemon have continued to be interesting, but the games are really what's lacking. So I definitely feel you, but I agree, the old stuff is still good. That's why it actually was really fun to replay through this game. I've played Emerald several times now at this point, but playing through Emerald again was really fun. But yeah, as of right this second, I think I'm missing Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Crystal, and then I believe from Generation 3, I'm missing Pokemon Emerald in English, and I'm missing Pokemon Fire Red, period. And then I believe, like, for all the other games, I think I have pretty much all of the main, like, series games other than those ones. So, just a couple that I'm missing, but I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to, like, find those ones and finish the collection, because it'd be really cool. I actually want to build, like, a little case for them after, so I think it'd be really nice to have them, like, displayed. Alright, we are getting close to 500 encounters. No! Oh my goodness. There you are. He went back to the first patch of grass that I was trying to get to. That is awesome. Oh my goodness. I feel like coming back to the older games and then playing the newer ones, one of the things I definitely appreciate about the older ones is the sprites themselves. And I just think, like, the sprite artwork is so good. And it's really fun to come back to that. Because as much as, like, open world stuff is really cool and I really enjoy it, the fact of just having, like, this kind of artwork is really cool. The only thing that could have been, like, maybe a little cooler with Generation 3 is like if they had somewhat animated the sprites, but they ended up doing that later on anyways, so it's not really a big thing. There we go. Thought I messed that one up. Yeah, the old sprite work had so much life and charm. Miss those days. Yeah. And the music, too, honestly. Like, obviously, that goes without saying how good so many of the songs are from the older Pokemon games. But I feel like, you know, you just don't really have that same sound anymore, which is unfortunate. I do think, I think I talked about this Colin yesterday, is I really wish they had done like a cooler theme. Speaking of Colin, what's up? I was saying yesterday that I really think it had been cool if they had done like a more unique song for this island, considering it's like such a like cool place, you know, for Mew. But they just basically redid Seamavo theme. You're gonna do your roll today? Alright, Colin, what's it gonna be today? Hopefully it's a number that's nice to us. Ian is the first person that said it was going to be under 1,000, so I'd like to keep it that way. $2,098. Oh my goodness. We'll see. How is work going today, Colin? Haven't gotten under 1,000 yet. Yeah, I know you haven't yet. One of these days. Slow all these corporate people for buyout touring the property. Ah, I see. Slow can be good and bad. It can be good because it's like you get like a chance to not be inundated, and then also it can be bad because it's, you know, tends to be boring when it's slow. But hopefully it's going good for you. What do you think of what I sent you? Dude, that set was crazy. I was kind of watching a little bit of just like the entire thing in general, but that particular whole set with Wookiee was awesome. Like the pound to up tilt rest was so good, and I really wish there had been audio. I would have loved to actually have heard the pop off too, because that was really, really cool to watch. I forget who it was that you were playing against. I watched one of the earlier sets. I don't remember who it was you were playing. Oh, man, I really can't think of who it was. But I was watching that one too, and I just liked your movement in general. It was looking good. I just can't remember who you were playing against earlier on in the set. Or in this tournament. But I think that the pound to up tilt rest combo, that definitely should be a clip. I feel like if that didn't get clipped, it really needs to, because that was good. Yeah, it might have been Blonde Kid. It might have been. That sounds like it could have been right. Top 10 anime comebacks for that rest, honestly. Absolutely right. Oh, by the way, since you're here, Colin, I was going to mention it, but I don't think anybody else was here yesterday. I am wearing the Snorlax earring today out of that pack. Yesterday was Puff, today is Snorlax. Definitely one of the best things I've found at a store in a long time. Alright, we are getting very close to 500. I was watching this thing, speaking of anime, there was this YouTube short earlier today, and they were doing like this guess the top 10 anime challenge, and this guy was, you know, just naming some different animes, and they were like, yes, if it was on the top 10, and they would tell him what, like, spot they were, and then if it was a no, they would be like, yeah, nope, that's not on the top 10 list. So he goes and he names, like, Attack on Titan, and they're like, yep, that's number 1, and then he's like, okay, Jujutsu Kaisen, and they're like, nope, that's not on the list. And I'm like, what? And then he names like, what was the other one? I can't even think of what he named, but he named a couple that were on the top 10 list. And then he says like, One Piece, and they're like, nope, that's like number 19. And I'm like, how is One Piece number 19? That makes no sense whatsoever. And it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, well, it's probably just the fact that it's really long, and I think that's why people have the issue that they have with it. But it is so good, and it should not be number 19. And I think, like, one of the other ones he said was Dragon Ball, and that wasn't number, like, on top 10 either, which is, like, that also doesn't seem right somehow. And then, oh, I remember one of them, Naruto, was, like, number 8, and I'm just like, I don't even know if that deserves to be on the top 10. That's just my opinion. Number 2 is Death Note, which, Death Note's really good, so I kind of see that, but, like, I don't know if it's number 2 good. Like, it's good, but I don't know. And I think, like, Hunter was number 10, which I think Hunter x Hunter deserves to be in the top 10 for sure. But, yeah, I don't know. One Piece needs to be on that list. It's definitely on my top 10 for sure. It's actually top 5. Might even be up there in top 3. It's so good. Oh, Ian, I don't know if you're here still. I think you might still be here, but if you're lurking, one of the things at the store that I saw, other than the Pokemon earrings, was this Shanks figure. And I have never seen a Shanks figure in person before. There was, like, one Shanks figure that I was thinking about, like, getting a while back, and it's, like, the scene where, like, Shanks is putting the hat on Luffy while he's crying at the beginning of the show. I'm not gonna say any more than that. But I just never saw one in person. And then at the store, they just had a standalone Shanks figure. Like, he looked so cool. And it was like actually like a really good price. I think it was like 25 bucks or something like that, which online it goes for like 30 something. So I was like, okay. So, yeah. I got a Shanks figure. It's also a little sad, but kind of funny. Like, because of my hip, I haven't really been able to go out and do a lot of stuff. And that was, like, one of the biggest outings I've done in a while. And I think the fact that it was a mall, and, like, the fact that there was, like, all this cool stuff in that one store, literally made me feel like I was at an amusement park. And it was, like, both funny and also a little sad, because I'm like, wow, like, this shouldn't excite me nearly as much as it did, but it was really fun. So, I was kind of laughing about that after. Yu Yu Hakusho gotta be top 5 in my book. I don't think I've seen that. I might have to add that to my list of animes to watch. Oh, you know another one that wasn't on... Wait, it might have been top 10. I don't remember now. I'm getting a little blurred because he mentioned so many that should have been top 10 that weren't, that the ones that actually were top 10 are kind of escaping me. I don't remember if he said Demon Slayer was one of the top 10 ones. It probably is, and it deserves to be. It's really good. And I think the new season either is out now or is supposed to be out in a few days. I've lost count. The last time I had heard about it, it was like 8 days away, and it might be those 8 days passed already, so I might need to watch that new season if it's out already. But I will definitely check that out, Colin. If you want to shoot me the name of that too, just so I don't forget, if you just want to like send that on Instagram or Discord or something, I will add that to my list. Alright, 500. Halfway to 1,000. I messed that one up so bad. How different is the Mew Sprite intro for the shiny compared to the regular? So let me see if I read that right. How different is the Mew Sprite intro for the shiny compared to the regular? I don't really think they really do anything different as far as obviously the color, but like I don't know if they do anything different. Like the clips that I've seen of people when they get Shiny Mew, it just basically looks pretty much like the exact same thing like this. And then the stars, it would have been cool if they had done something different, but I don't think there is anything. And then like the one I have on my overlay, I believe is like black and white sprite, Gen 5 sprite, because it's the only like animated sprite that they had, and I didn't want to use like a standalone just like image of Mew. I could have, but I didn't want to. No, I messed this one up. It's that one rock that always messes me up. Be so much easier to hunt if the overworld sprite was shiny. Yeah, absolutely. I just messed that one up so bad. Wow, it actually worked. Never mind. I didn't know you could go that way. That was literally just like a 90-degree, like, L, like a backwards L, and it worked still. I thought you literally had to do, like, that stair-step pattern, and it still worked for me. Crazy. That was an accident. I wish I had actually paid attention to exactly what I did. I feel like I just went like this, like, left at the rock. Yeah, if the overworld sprite was shiny, that would be really cool. There was just one YouTuber. He did like an analysis video. Rolled my dice again. Really bad number. I don't even want to hear it. Oh my gosh. 7,343. I sincerely hope not. Yeah, so I saw this one YouTuber. He did like a video on Shiny Hunting Mew, and like he did like a whole breakdown on like Mew's pattern, and he talked about how pretty much like every 9th step he holds still, and there's like next one was 579. That's more like it. Actually, I don't even know if I updated my counter. Did I even update my counter? I feel like maybe the last 2 encounters I didn't update it. I don't know if that's the case, but it feels like I forgot to. But yeah, he basically was like explaining Mew's movement and whatnot, and he had this one thing that he did where he was able to manipulate the code in the game where he made it so that Mew was visible the entire time. So like instead of just like every once in a while you can see Mew's tail, like you could see Mew the entire time, which is kind of cool. But I think it would have been like really cool if he took it one step further and had made it so that the overworld was actually shiny, like you said. Would have been pretty neat. Alright, 510. So it's funny, Danny was asking me what shiny Pokemon I was thinking about going for during like July, like my birth month, and she's like, it's gonna be your birth month, your birthday, like what Pokemon do you want to shiny hunt for? And I was just like, truth be told, there's a part of me that thinks I may still be shiny hunting for Mew by then. I hope not, but there's a chance. So that was a funny conversation. The other thing some people have been saying is, like, recommendation-wise, is, like, going for shiny decks of a region. So, like, people were like, oh, start with Kanto, get the shiny first 151 Pokemon, and then move on to Johto and whatnot. And it's like, you very well could do that, but I feel like sometimes just kind of the fun of randomly just going for different shiny Pokemon is more enjoyable, rather than just going for only certain ones in one generation. But eventually, they're going to all get completed anyways once they finish the actual shiny decks. I am curious if one generation will get finished, like, quicker than the other ones. I haven't really sat down and broke down exactly how many shiny Pokemon from each region, from which generation I have. But if I had to guess, probably Generation 1 is the one I have the most from right now. So it might turn out that I finish Generation 1 just by happenstance first, so we'll see. Definitely going to be shiny hunting Moltres, Articuno, Zapdos, and Mewtwo in Sword and Shield using the Dynamax Adventures. That will be 100% how I shiny hunt those, because it just not only has really good odds, but it's also something that like chat can get participate in. And the last time I streamed Dynamax Adventures with chat, it was actually really fun. Had like a bunch of new people show up, and it was very interactive. So we'll definitely be doing that. Probably the same for Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. It just makes sense that any of the legendaries, or Pokemon in general for that matter, that I can shiny hunt for in methods that are on the Switch, that I can just use the capture card for, and also participate with chat, it makes it more fun and makes perfect sense to do that. In situations like this, where you kind of have to go into the games where it's the only way to get them, you just gotta do what you gotta do. But I feel like I want to save those hunts because they're going to be easier to do, and it doesn't make sense to do like the easy ones, in my opinion, first. Like, maybe every once in a while you could throw in some easy ones, but like, for the difficult hunts, those ones are the ones that are going to take the longest, and it makes sense to try and get some of those done. I thought I messed that one up, and luckily, we're good. Keep getting this streamer recommended to me on IG. He's hunting Shiny Hunting Dratini / Dragonair inside the Safari Zone. Yeah, does he have a headband on, Colin? Because if he has a headband, I think I know who you're talking about. I was watching him, I want to say like 2 weeks ago. He was like still trying to go for his like third encounter at that point. He had like several thousand encounters trying to get a shiny Magikarp, and I think he's stuck in the Safari Zone right now still. He had made a good bit of momentum, but I think the Safari Zone has definitely got him stuck. Yeah, I forget his name right now, but I was watching some of his stuff too. He seems like a cool dude. I'd take Metronome RNG over Safari any day. Yeah, I agree. I agree. My thing with the Safari Zone is, like, you could have a target Pokemon that you want shiny, but, like, it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get that one shiny. And, you know, you kind of just have to be okay with the fact that if you get a different Pokemon shiny, that it is what it is. And then, like, you also have to deal with the fact that, like, oh, once you do get a shiny, you have to deal with the whole Safari part of it. And it's like, well, hopefully you even catch it at that point. So I would definitely take this over that any day. Just throw rocks at it. Yep. I would be mortified to throw rocks at a shiny Pokemon. Like, I feel like if I ended up getting a shiny in a Safari Zone, I would just freeze and be like, what do I do? One of the things I realized while I was doing some, like, looking into of shiny hunts that I'm going to need to do, the Arceus one in BDSP, you can shiny hunt for. Like, you just soft reset for your Arceus encounters. And one of the requirements, though, is that you have to beat Pokemon Legends Arceus and have encountered and or caught Arceus in that game. And I realized that I played a lot of Legends Arceus. Like, I think I ended up getting like all the way to the point where you catch an Amoris because I needed it for my Pokedex. But I don't think I finished the Arceus encounter, and I'm pretty sure I finished the Dex in that game. So I actually need to finish Legends Arceus officially, catch Arceus, and then I believe I already meet the requirements in BDSP to be able to Shiny Hunt Arceus, because you just need the National Dex and or to then beat Legends Arceus, and you'll get the Azure Flute. That is going to be one of those shiny hunts that I'm excited to do. It's going to be, again, just soft resetting, but it'll be on the Switch, so I can just use the capture card, and then it's like, hey, then you catch it, and it goes right to home. Statistically, throwing Rock and Chansey is the play in Gen 1. Yeah, I don't even know what the mechanics are for Gen 3 Safari. I don't know if, like, it's the same situation, or if anything changed from generation to generation. My Safari knowledge is not very good, because it was not something I always really enjoyed. The Pokemon were always cool, but just the mechanic of, like, throwing rocks and or mud, and then, like, bait, too. Like, I don't think I ever really sat down and figured out what each one do. If I did that, I'd probably, like, not dislike it as much, you know? Gen 3 got so complicated, so it did change then from Generation 1, I take it. It would make sense that it did, but again, I'm not sure what the actual change is. The bait you place attracts certain natures. Oh, really? So the bait can attract natures of Pokemon? Huh. Well, does Synchronize work in the... Oh, no, wait. Do you not have your Pokemon with you in the Safari Zone? I'm not thinking. Because, like, it's literally you and the bait and the mud and the rocks or whatever and the Safari Balls. Like, you don't have your team with you, so I guess Synchronize wouldn't matter. Is that 425? There we go. Because I was about to be like, well, why not just use Synchronize? But you can't. Silly me. Goes to show I don't know anything about Safari. Okay. You can have Pokemon with you, I believe, because you can use Surf. Right. Well, yeah, that makes sense, because you'd have to be able to, like, at least navigate inside the Safari Zone. So, when you encounter a Pokemon in the Safari Zone, though, it's just like your trainer's icon, and not like a Pokemon that comes out, because, like, obviously you don't battle. So you have them with you, technically, but, like, I'm wondering if you had a synchronized Pokemon in the first slot of your party, if that still works. Like, if the 50-50 odds actually matters, or if it doesn't count because they don't technically, like, appear on screen. I'd be curious to look into that and see. Because at that point, if bait is only for natures, you know, that's kind of odd. Alright, 528. Can you use cut on a tall grass in Gen 3? I believe you can. And I actually believe that starting in Generation 3, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think that if you have a Pokemon with the ability of Hyper Cutter and you use cut, it actually cuts like twice as much grass, which I think is actually really cool. Like, it takes the circle of grass that gets cut and it like doubles the size of it. I don't know if that applies to here. I've not tested that. But that would be kind of hilarious. Doubt it in the Mew grass cut works. Literally trap into a square. Yeah, because I'm thinking because he literally goes around all the grass and whatnot that it probably doesn't work. But that would be kind of cool. It'd make it a little easier for like trapping him in a specific spot. But then again, like if you know the pattern of where you're supposed to go, it's not too bad. But that would be really funny. So something kind of funny happened, like, I don't know, a few weeks ago now. It actually didn't seem like it was that long ago, but I think it was a few weeks ago. I was at Target, and pretty much anytime I go to a store, I have to use one of those scooters now because, like, my hip is just super painful to walk on right this second. So if they have a cart, I take advantage of that. And I pretty much have started, like, having just to carry my crutch on the cart with me because I get these looks from people like, you're too young to be on one of these. And then with the crutch in the cart, they typically don't give me the looks as much. So started doing that to avoid the looks. But we were at Target this one time, and it was with Danny and her sister, and we were walking around, and I say walking, but anyways, you know what I mean. And we were going through Target, and we got to the section with all the games and stuff, and they had the aisle where they have like all of the plushes for like Nintendo stuff, and they have these giant Pokemon plushes in Target. And I remember when they only had like a couple initially. One of them was like Sleeping Jigglypuff, and Captain Hook got it for me as a Christmas gift, and it's one of my favorite things that I have. And since then, they've come out with like more plushes, and I remember like the Gengar one specifically is amazing. It's just like a giant Gengar, and they have like a bunch of other ones that are really cool. And they had this one of Cubone, and I remember thinking like, oh, I wonder, that actually is pretty cool. I wonder if that's like life-size Cubone. I'm not necessarily sure if it's like 100% accurate for life-size, but regardless, it's a big Cubone. And Danny's sister, who knows pretty much nothing about Pokemon at all, looks at Cubone and says, I don't know what that is, but I like it. It's cute. And like proceeds to pick it up and like decided that she wanted to buy it. And so we're walking around the rest of the store. She's like carrying Cubone around. And we get to this one part towards the end of checkout, and there's this kid with his mom, and like he's like looking up at his mom and like pointing at Cubone and like trying to explain what Cubone is, and it was so wholesome. And like Danny's sister was just like smiling, like, I know nothing about this thing, but I'm glad that that kid thinks it's cool. And it was really wholesome. And speaking of Pokemon plushes, this past Christmas, one of the things that Danny got for me was the Gengar Squishmallow that came out. And somehow there was an issue with it being delivered where it got sent twice. So, like, the first one came that was unexpected. And then she had already reported that it never got delivered because it showed up like a week or two late. And then it showed up, but then because she had reported that it didn't show up, which to be fair, it was 2 weeks late, a second one showed up. And completely didn't expect that. And so they were like, nah, you can keep it, it's okay, you know, sorry about the whole mix-up and whatnot. So we had an extra Gengar Squishmallow just sitting, and we found out pretty much right around the same time at Christmas that Danny's sister-in-law was going to be having a baby, which is super exciting, because Danny's going to be an aunt, and I'm going to be Uncle Jad, which I'm really excited about. And I was like, wait, I'll give the baby the new Squishmallow that I didn't open. Like, it'll be a cool baby shower gift. And, like, we had the baby shower last weekend, and there was other stuff in there, like Pooh Bear plush and, like, books and stuff, and just a bunch of baby stuff. And I forgot Gengar. It just, like, completely slipped my mind. He was in the closet and forgot him. And so, like, I told the parents, so I was like, well, next time I see you guys, I'm going to have to give it to you so that way you can add it to the baby treasure hoard. Because they got a lot of cool stuff from the baby shower. And it was a really fun event. But, yeah, I was like, everything at that baby shower, they had, like, a lot of events. They were like, hey, draw a wooden block for the baby. And it was like you draw, like, numbers or pictures on these wooden blocks. So I draw a Pokeball, and I draw the Triforce, and I draw, like, I think, what else did I draw? I think I drew like Mario or Luigi and something. Like basically just a Nintendo block. And like everybody on the table was like, oh, that's so cool. That's such a cool block. And I was like, yeah, I just made something that I liked that I thought would be cool to, you know, have for the baby. And then like they were like, oh, make a drawing. We're going to like turn this drawing into a quilt. So like everybody did a drawing and then they're going to like make a quilt out of all the different parts. And I just drew a Pokeball with like a bunch of like dramatic anime lines coming out of it. And again, everybody was like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm just like, this kid is going to love Pokemon or be very surprised and like confused. So I'm hoping it's the first one. Gotta start him young. Alright, 540. Got first check-in of the day, be back, gotta make some quick cash. No worries, man. Totally cool. Alright, 550. $5.79 is the magic number today. We shall see. You got a feeling? Alright. What's your shiny dex total up to so far? Let me actually check. Because since I put out the video, it has definitely increased. It was at 198 during the video. And let me actually see here really quick. See if I added it. Okay, yeah, so we're at 198. We're at 207 right now. So got a few since that video went up. So yeah, 207 at the moment. And I want to say that video went up like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago now. I don't even know if it's been that long. Next time I see you, I'll have to trade you some shinies I have. Okay, cool. What game specifically, do you have shinies on? Only on Pokemon Go? Oh, okay, nice. Very, very cool. The last two shinies that I got on Pokemon Go were actually on Saturday at the baby shower. I was like walking to the bathroom, and as I'm walking there, I got a shiny Sparrow, which is really cool. And then like later on, after we were leaving, I got a shiny Doduo, which is cool. So I was like, oh, there's 2 more Kanto shinies done. The only downside with Pokemon Go shinies is like you have to transfer them from Go to home, which isn't a hard thing to do. But there's like a meter that like only allows you to transfer so many, which is like, that's kind of unfortunate. I wish that that wasn't the case, but it is what it is. One of my friends the other day, he was like, you know, if you had just gotten the shiny Mew that was in Pokemon Go, you could have avoided having to do this whole hunt. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But I didn't. I missed that one. But this is kind of more fun anyways. Oh, Colin, you should send me your like your friend code or your QR in Pokemon Go. That way I can add you as a friend, because we can like send gifts to each other. That way we can get our friendship up. Because I think if you trade without being like good friends, it costs like a ridiculous amount of Stardust. So if you want to send me your friend code, or I can send mine, either way, that way we can get that set up as well. Ah, I messed that one up. There we go. I think we're getting close to that number, Colin. We'll have to see if that's the number. Alright, this is it. 579. Unfortunate. Oops. Alright, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I will be right back. I'm just going to mute. Alright, I'm back. We got this new hand soap in the bathroom. It literally smells like the sweetest lemon candy you can imagine. Looks like 579 wasn't lucky. Yeah, unfortunately, it was not. but that's okay. But yeah, so that bathroom soap, it smells so lemony, it's crazy. And like the one before that we had was like strawberry, and it literally just smelled like strawberries everywhere, and it's very strong. So I guess we're on a fruit kick right now. Alright, 582. Yo, what's going on? We got a raid going on? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we are doing a shiny hunt for Mew currently in Emerald right now. 583 encounters in. Trying to work on our shiny living dex. Good luck on the hunt. Thanks so much for the raid. Appreciate it. Alright, 584. How's everybody's day going? Hopefully everybody's doing good. Nice, good to hear. Hoping to get this shiny before 1,000, but probably not likely. You need to go? Alright, take care. Thanks again. Right, 586. So what was Galix playing? What were you guys watching before? Pokemon related, perhaps? Have a good one. Thanks again for the luck. 587. He was playing Scarlet? Oh, very cool. Alright. Doing some shiny hunting or just playing Scarlet in general? You are gambling? Oh. Well, now I'm curious. And then you went to Shiny Hunting Electabuzz? Nice. I actually just got done doing a Shiny Electabuzz hunt in Violet maybe like 3 weeks ago. I ended up finding a Shiny Elekid by mistake while looking for Electabuzz. That was kind of a cool moment. I was like, wait a second, you don't look like all the other Elekid here. And sure enough, it was shiny. So, that was fun. His luck is questionable, though. He used 3 sandwiches. Oh, no! Still no shiny? Oof. I've been, lately in Scarlet and Violet, I've only been doing, like, the Outbreak method. Like, I haven't had to use a shiny, or a shiny, excuse me. I haven't had to use a sandwich, rather, for, like, a couple months. I've gotten really good luck just using the Outbreak method and then resetting with picnics. So, yeah, haven't had to use any sandwiches lately. I think I messed this one up. Yep, I did. We're gonna have to chase Mew now. Come on, Mew. There we go. Alright, 590. To be honest, I've never played Scarlet or any of the Pokemon games. I've only played up to Gen 4. Can you explain what an outbreak is? Yeah, absolutely. So, they introduced a mechanic where different Pokemon will spawn in an outbreak, which is like where a concentrated amount of only those Pokemon will be spawning. So basically, like when you find one of the outbreaks, you'll see like a ton of that one Pokemon. So you'll find like, 10 like Magmar, for example. And then as you're in the outbreak, as you like defeat Magmar, it'll start telling you like, hey, the amount of Magmar is started dropping. And then after you defeat some more, it'll say the amount of Magmar has definitely started dropping. And then the last one is like, there's not many Magmar left from the original horde or like outbreak. And then in that time period is when your shiny odds get boosted a bit. So what you can do is basically you start like just doing picnics until the shiny basically appears in the next group that spawn. Because every time you do a picnic, it resets which Pokemon are there. So you basically just keep doing that. And you kind of don't really need a sandwich to do it. As long as you have the shiny charm, you have like those boosted odds. So it's pretty neat. But it's cool too because it's like every day the outbreaks like change. So like every day there's new outbreaks. So depending on what Pokemon you're looking for, you can either wait until the new day starts, or you can literally just change the date on your Switch and it'll like force new outbreaks. And it's cool because like they have it set up where the outbreaks are in like the main map, and then like both the DLC maps also get outbreaks. So like you can, choose from a bunch of different outbreak options basically. So, it's been good for shiny hunting. Yeah, no worries. Of course, if you do use a sandwich, it is supposed to obviously increase those chances even further. But you can get away without having to use a sandwich. Right, we are almost to 600 encounters. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. Well, it's great seeing you. It's currently 4:55 a.m., so I'm going to go to sleep. See you. Absolutely. Hope you get some good sleep. Thanks for hanging out. Definitely. Hope to see you again sometime. Take care. I think that was 595. $5.99. All right, 600. Alright, I think we're going to call it there. We've doubled our encounters again, added another 200 on. I will be streaming this again tomorrow. Not exactly sure what time, but I will announce it on the Discord exactly what time I'm going to stream tomorrow. And we'll go for some more encounters tomorrow. Definitely appreciated the raid today. That was super cool. It was nice to meet a few new people. Thanks again for calling in, Ian, hanging out in the chat earlier on. It was nice chatting with you guys. And, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll continue this Shiny Mew hunt. We're going to get this Shiny Mew. I can feel it. Hopefully before 1,000. So, I'll see you guys in the next stream. Have a good one. Bye.